Hi, welcome to Committed to Connection. I'm your host, Rachel, and today on this week's episode of this podcast, I have a guest. Now, this guest, I think, will be very different from a lot of my other guests, and that is because I think we are going to laugh so hard during this podcast. But before I get into the details,
You're just setting the standard very high right now, Rip.
do you see what I mean? Okay. Hi, Kristian. Welcome.
No, you see my name.
Well,
My
welcome.
name at the bottom. You see my name?
Okay. Okay.
Address me.
Kristian,
All right.
let me tell you right now, I'm not calling you that.
That's okay. The people will.
Okay.
They know what it is.
So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But before I do, let me give you a little bit of an introduction to Kristian. Let me just quickly say.
So sorry. Did you write this down?
No, I didn't write this down. I'm going
Off the cuff.
impromptu off the cuff right now. Kristian is one of the funniest people that I know, and I am telling you as an audience all this now because I think I'm gonna have to either move my mic or mute myself throughout this podcast because I don't want the audio speaking. But Kristian is one of the most funniest people I know, and our relationship, I think, really came out of nowhere. This friendship, I would have never guessed it. I don't think anybody would have guessed that me and him would be friends. We are so different, but somehow it works, and we're going to talk about why. But go ahead, Kristian. Can you introduce yourself? Right.
So my name is Chris. What type of intro are we giving? Because this is about us, right? It's not professional. They don't need to know what I do for a living.
They don't need to know, but if you want to share, you can share.
No.
Shoot, I can introduce you.
Incognito. No.
Okay, so I can't share?
What you do, but why are you telling my business?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Rachel is my best friend. So I'm sorry to all the potential bachelors out there. That's a title both she and I use, right? You're gonna have some problems. That's all I'm saying. So if you're uncomfortable, get comfy. You see, I'm comfy. How long ago did we become friends again, Rachel? How long has it been now that we've been friends?
I should have done some reflection before this podcast episode. How long has it been? I think it's been since 2021, I want to say. 2021, I think. Yeah. 2021, I think. Yeah.
I was working at a grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just gone through a lot of girl troubles, and I was in a very vulnerable state, and the man them weren't really providing the comfort conversationally that I needed at the time. And so I reached out to all my church girlies, my big sister Kamoy, my other sister in Christ, Michaela, and then Rachel. And whereas all those conversations were within their own rights very, very good, I still talk to them today, even about hard topics or whatever. Me and Rachel talked for hours. Now, I will say that I did realize that this is not a unique phenomenon, when it comes to Rachel. I thought I was special for a long time. But I found out that, I was one of, I don't know what episode I am, right? But they're gonna see, you feel me, where I am in the pecking order. But that's okay. That's okay. Because at the end of the day, I know my role and I appreciate you for, the role that you play in my life. But yeah, we had a long conversation.
Yeah.
And I think we are very conversationally compatible.
Yeah.
I like to chat a lot, and you're willing, to listen, and I'm growing in my ability to listen quietly. So, yeah.
I agree. I think that it really works because I don't know, we talk about basically anything and everything for hours. You're super, super honest. I can definitely count on you to tell me what you're thinking at all moments of time with minimal filter. Um, um, and okay, but okay, my question is, why are we so conversationally compatible?
We both like to to talk. Well, okay, so something that you say to other people that has like remained consistent in every like arena that I've seen you in is that you like to go deep. Like you don't like shallow conversations or whatever. And I think I thought I was the same way. So I might have like at first thought that that was the reason why like, oh, we both like to go deep. I don't like to go deep with some people. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Fair, fair,
Some of you
fair.
need to keep it very shallow with me, very surface. Y- Both in what we're talking about and in length of time. Don't talk to me for long, please. You know? But with you, like you one have an inviting spirit. So like I think people are drawn to you, and I think you're like I'm not gonna use the nickname that I use for you a lot, but you are able to like draw depth from other people. And so I'm not it's not like we're so uniquely made for one another in that way. It's just more like our conversation styles are compatible. Like I like to speak and with people who I deem, you know, worthy of speaking to. Like for with the deeper conversations and trust them with vulnerability and all of that, like those people I love to go deep with. And you are just naturally able to like bring that out of I think a large like a wide variety of people.
I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit because when we do engage in deep conversations, you always have something meaningful to say, meaningful to add. Like your perspective, I find very valuable. I already said this, but your honesty I find valuable. And then you're always able to like add something to the conversation that makes me think about things in a different way or makes me laugh or et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I think this works. Um, but I'm just gonna go there from the beginning because come on, like let's just go there right now. Male and female friendships, women and men friendships.
Oh, okay.
A guy calling a girl, that's my best friend. What are your thoughts on it? Let's unpack it. Let's talk about it because a lot of people take issue with it. And I think we're here to kind of like set the record straight and talk about how this can exist.
Right. Um,
So, yeah, what's your opinion on women and men being friends?
I think ladies should go first, right? Who am I? I'm just guest number X. You know what I'm saying? I think you should, start since it's you.
I should go first. You're right.
Yeah. Just you can give a brief, what's that thing called again? A thesis statement or something?
Synopsis,
Right.
summary.
Right.
Thesis
Right.
statement. My thesis statement that it is that it works with boundaries. And I think boundaries are super important. And I think continued communication is super important. And I think that having both is super important. So having both men and women in your life, I think is super important. And what's cool is you have really, really good male friendships even though you get along with girls a lot and you have a lot of like girlfriends, you also have really deep conversations with your guys and you're able to connect with them. You're able to find a lot from them. This is not like replacing that, it's just another layer of like the kinds of relationships that you have in your life. And the same thing for me, I have female friends that I'm very, very close to. And then I also have some male friends. Some, okay? They're not all male. There's Kristian and there's a few others.
I love the ambiguity. Because to be honest, I don't really know your other male friends, to be honest. Like your deep male friends. I couldn't really name them. So for anyone out there, again, all you have to do is worry about me. I'm the final boss after her pops.
Christian, stop it. I cannot have you blocking
Oh, this is
me.
gonna be great. Um, yeah, I can't wait for the DMs after this. But yeah, I think the word of the day is boundaries for sure. And to be honest, in any healthy platonic male female dynamic, like either party is going to be willing to like step aside. Oh,
Mm,
like I just can't if they are unwilling to, there's either I'm not gonna say that they like the person, but there's a lot of maturing that they need to do, and maybe this isn't a relationship that those type of that specific type of person is capable of like stewarding. Because at the end of the
yeah.
day, like you are my sister,
Hmm.
and so I want nieces and nephews. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
at like anything that I do is going to like ultimately be trying to contribute to that end. You know what I mean? You living happily after ever after so that I can have nieces and nephews. So if that means that like cuz let's talk about the things like practically speaking that may become a concern. And like at one point I was in a relationship and I had to kind of like navigate this myself. No longer. Just want to put that out there. It is done. Anyways, it's done. Everything's covered by the blood, amen.
Amen. You
Right?
are healed and
Free.
restored.
Right. But yeah, what's it called? I think one of the biggest points of conflict for me was I like you were saying, like I try to live very transparently in an attempt one to live beyond reproach. So it's like and that simply means like you can pull up my record history, you can pull up my background. If you had a camera in my room, you know, like trying to basically like live a life of integrity, both,
Hmm.
you know, in someone's face and behind their back.
Hmm.
And a lot of times that means snitching on yourself,
Hmm.
and like coming forth with like things that aren't necessarily an issue to like your girlfriend or boyfriend,
Hmm.
um, at the time, but you in your mind like you can see that that might be a potential issue, so you bring it forth. And so like for me, as it regards at the time as it regarded our relationship, I thought I did everything that I needed to do in order to not, you know, like cause any problems. The introduction of you and her at the time, or just in general, like I think like I thought I did everything right
Hmm.
introducing you to the girl,
Hmm.
um having you guys meet in person, seeing our dynamic, being explicit about areas of concern and not gaslighting the person. Is there an echo? Because I can hear myself.
Yeah, I don't know why
Let me try and take out
there's
my
a
headphones.
we're recording. We're
Okay.
back. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're back. What were you saying?
So I was talking about how in my prior relationship illuminated to me how boundaries are extremely important and how it's a lot more subjective and tailored to one's partner, one's partner's comfort rather than just checking off the kind of like
Objective rules.
yeah, yeah, like what society would say that has to be done almost. Because I consider myself a very honest person. I don't know how much of whatever they had before you're gonna put in, but what basically I said before that I try to live transparently. I try to live beyond reproach, meaning I try to live with integrity, and I try to mitigate any issues prior to them like arising. And so because of that, when introducing, um, no names, when introducing you to old girl, I thought there was no room for issue, primarily because one, practical things like attraction, like if you have an attraction to your supposed to be platonic friend or relationship, like that has to be said. You can't gaslight your person into just saying that this is okay solely because you have self-control or not say anything at all. I think all things have to be let on the table, and it's at the discretion of your partner to say whether they're okay with that, you know? And so with me and you, there wasn't an issue of an attraction on either end. And I think that immediately like relieves a lot of tension. Because it's said a lot of times, and in my opinion, if it's unsaid, then what's not said is understood almost, you know, like there's an implication there. If something isn't said explicitly like that, or if there's no clarification. And so that being out of the way, I'm like, that's like 90% of the work right there. Plus, I'm like, you guys need to meet. Not for, cause I'm a little picky about my people, and it was a new relationship anyways, but it's like, I didn't necessarily know if personalities would gel, or so there's, you know, understandable nervousness in that area. But I thought I did all the right things, you know? And so I thought me doing all the right things entitled. Yeah. Like I thought I was now entitled to a level of freedom that didn't really take her comfort into consideration. Like for me, I'm a big why guy. Like if you can't explain to me why things make you uncomfortable, that makes me uncomfortable with adhering to whatever rules you try to set. And not because I don't think I'm inherently like just argumentative, unless we're like, you know, being funny or playing. It's just that if you don't have a why behind you setting things, especially setting boundaries in a relationship, I think that's just room for um a whole bunch of arbitrary like rules that you found based on TikTok to like dictate your life. And I don't even have TikTok. Well, no, I have TikTok, but I'm not on it like that. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, though, what I learned from the situation is that even if something doesn't make sense to me, what you said to me, Rachel, actually, is if your partner feels strongly about something, um, it comes down to the question of like, do you consider their happiness like as more important or more of a priority than your understanding in a lot of ways? You said it more eloquently than that, but I had to ask myself that hard question. And, you know, and then compromise comes in. I think the particular tension was like when she and I were in a tit or a tat or whatever. Um, and when she called me, I was on a call with you. I didn't, you know, like I just said, hold on, I'm on the phone with Rachel. I wasn't talking to you about it. I wasn't, you only found out about there being an issue months later, you know? So it wasn't like I was saying anything. We were just having a conversation because you're my dog. You know what I mean? My dogs. I'm not a misogynist. Um, but
And let the record show, what did I say whenever you would tell me that she called?
bye. Okay, bro, bye. Just relax. Just vibe. It's okay. Because I can
No.
promise all boys gonna call. I'm not gonna say bye. I'll say, oh, what's up? Or something. Like, I say bye. Oh yeah, you did say like, oh, I tell her I said hi, bye. Okay, bro, bye. No, come off the phone, bye. I'm not gonna be like that. I'll tell you right now. You're gonna
Kristian,
what?
don't do this right now. Don't become enemies with somebody who doesn't even exist yet.
All I'm saying. So here's my thing. Because moving forward, at this time there was like the thing was around time. Like, what's an appropriate time to be talking to a lady friend or a friend of the opposite sex? Like in my mind, I'm just a kid. Like we're you're telling me not to play Fortnite with my brethren at 10 o'clock. Are we married? So for me, that doesn't really make any sense because it still doesn't make sense, but it's something that I tried to listen to because it made her more comfortable. But it doesn't make sense because I'm gonna tell you something. We don't have conversations just to have them. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, I think it's more now because of my life situation and where I'm at, why we even talk more frequently. But before, our relationship was very similar to a lot of the other relationships in my life outside of my immediate family, where I'm only calling you if we have something to speak about. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's not just that it's a pattern of kikiing at like 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But if something's going on at 10 p.m. that you need to know about, I'm gonna let you know. And then if you
Mm-hmm.
have to do something the next day,
Mm-hmm.
look, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, it just didn't make sense to me. People can use terms like it's the principle. Explain the principle. Explain it. Because yeah.
Okay,
I'll just say that.
let
Yeah.
me explain the principle. The principle is that when it's nighttime, that's when the voice starts getting a little lower for some people. That's when they start getting ideas in their head. During nighttime, like the principle is you're more likely to do and say things in the dark. And I mean, like, literally speaking in when it's dark versus when it's light outside. So I think
Mhm.
that's the principle. Um, yeah, take it or leave it.
That's the principle. I didn't tell you this, but I invited her to sit in on one of our conversations. And I'm not doing it rhetorically. Like, I'm not being hyperbolic. Like, I'm not, I'm like, what will make you comfortable? Because this is not going to change. And the thing is, like, since that conversation, it's so funny because it's so rare that we have a late night, well, except for now, like a late night conversation at 7 o'clock. A late night conversation. I'm saying it's getting dark outside. I don't want people to be like, what's going on right now? You know what I mean? Um, but like, uh, it's just rare. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, let me put my everyone always tries to say, just put your shoes on, like put the shoes on the other human. What's the saying? Like put the foot on the other person. Like
Put
switch
yourself in
roles.
someone else's shoes.
Thank you so much. So eloquent. Um, yeah, put myself in someone else's shoes. Regin, I'm okay. Like the thing is, if I know the guy, if I'm comfortable with him, if you're not lying about like, if you've done your best to make me not just comfortable, but the situation is objectively like it's like if to me it feels like you getting mad that I'm talking to my sister in the nighttime. I know they are categorically like you are not my blood, but please understand, and I say this with all my friends, so before anyone wants to call me freaky deaky or nothing, your children are my children. That's it works, but like that one, I think it's not even a black thing. And I heard the words that are coming out of my mouth. I heard them. And I said it to my male friends, Tyree and DJ, and they said, "Oh, Kristian, you're doing too much." But I hear it now, how it rings maybe a little differently because you're a woman. So I'm not gonna say it again. What I will say is your children are my nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? So your blood, you're a cousin. I heard it the first time, and I won't do it again. But you get what I'm saying. So maybe my verbiage needs to change, but the heart is pure.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say. Because I think
Yeah.
some people really have a problem with just they cannot get over it. And I have friends who have this boundary, and I'm one of their friends, and we can argue about it and stuff. But I I I I don't know. I have just one. All I'm asking is just one. I don't have no other girlfriend. Like I have girl acquaintances. I love women energy. Like I love female energy.
Yeah.
But I don't like there are only so many people who you invite into your intimate spaces, you know?
Yeah.
And it just is like with someone like Kamoy, like our mutual friend and big sister, there's almost like dropping of a guard because she's older and my best friend's sister. So I'm just like, yo, whatever mental gymnastics you need to do to see you as that, just do that. But
Let
I'm
us
not in a
know.
relationship anymore, so it don't matter, right? It don't matter.
Okay, number one disclaimer, that's not the reason why you're not in a relationship anymore. I feel like we need to let the record show that. Like,
Careful.
our relationship isn't the reason why
Oh,
you're not
no, not at
in
all.
a relationship
Not at
anymore.
all. And
It
we're not
was
going to get into
completely
why.
unrelated.
Yeah, we're not
Completely.
going to get into.
That's
Yeah.
number one. Number two, you guys let us know in the comments where you stand on this and whether it's just, semantics and
Hmm.
mental gymnastics or whether it really is the principle. I personally believe in boundaries. I believe in making your intentions very clear. I believe in communicating very clearly. And I believe in prioritizing the needs of your partner depending on what they need. So that's what I'll say about that.
Basically, she's not going to advocate me for when the man says, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm going to be on the street, begging, looking for a new friend. That's what's going to happen. We've had this conversation before. She's going to dash me. She's going to dash me. I know it. I've prepared myself for it. Whomever you are, you're a lucky man because she is a willing woman. So just be careful with your power because I'm a person too. And this relationship means a lot to me. Her family means a lot to me. That's all I'm saying. Tyree would tell me to be quiet now, so I'm going to be quiet.
Okay. So I want to kind of unpack your journey of finding and making friends because the truth is, let's just be real, okay? A lot of people who knew Kristian when he was younger. Listen, guys, if you get anything from this podcast, it is that you can grow and you can become anybody you want to be. And I mean that with everything in me, that growth is possible for
What
you.
are you on right now? No, for real.
So I just want you to talk, Kristian, about
Have
your
I not?
childhood.
No, I'm wondering if I've said anything to insult you this time, like this in this span of time. I'm trying to remember. Because what are these intros? You can just introduce a next segment without throwing something my way. You
I'm
know?
sorry.
You're not though. What's the next segment? Are you gonna do something too? Like
No,
just
I'm
say
not.
it
I'm done.
properly.
I'm done.
So what's the question? What's the question? Form it in a way that doesn't,
Yeah. Okay.
insult me.
So, what has your journey been like of making and maintaining friends from childhood up until now?
What did you mean by if you knew Kristian back, like what were you even
Okay.
implying? I don't think the people got
So,
that. I want
I'm
clarification.
gonna clarify. So,
Yeah.
when I first met Kristian, it was when his friend DJ brought him to our church. And at that time, he went to the same middle school and high school as a lot of the other people in church. So what I used to hear about Kristian is that he would
You're crazy. Yeah.
eat eraser
Word. Word. Middle school though. Not just
middle
overrun.
school.
It's like
Yeah,
12, maybe
like
10.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Um, and just like a lot of different funny, hilarious stories.
Did I leg out or did you
Now,
leg
I
out?
would say no, I was pausing, I was choosing my words carefully 'cause
Okay.
I wanna be respectful. So, you're still funny, you're still hilarious, but not necessarily some of the same jokes that you were doing when you're in middle school.
Not as self-deprecating for sure. No.
Yeah.
Not at my
Okay.
expense or my
Yeah,
pride or dignity. Yeah.
yeah. So walk us
Subtle
through
balance you
that.
have to learn. Well, when you grow up, desiring affirmation from other people, uh, it depends, like, sometimes you're willing to get that affirmation at your own expense. And that was me. I was very much a class clown. I think inherently I am very silly.
Mm-hmm.
I love to make people it's not just laugh. Like I want to know that you're comfortable with me, and I think that maybe even like a, we can get into all the Doctor Who therapeutic talk or whatever, but like, to be real, it is a deeper issue, like being a people pleaser. um and it comes in many forms. For me, it was usually like self-deprecating humor at
Mm-hmm.
my expense, just being like not goofy. I think Goofy's cute, but a
Mm-hmm.
clown isn't cute. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will not watch it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, so, but that's just like little kid stuff. I came into more of myself, like, I think probably university, because I was still very much on that tip and
Mm-hmm.
timing. Yeah, so I came into my own in I would say university. Um and just realized, there are other forms of humor. I'm not very witty. I find that I have a couple witty friends. Rachel got mad at me yesterday for not including her in that list. So my sister, Tyree, and Rachel are some of my very quick-witted, that's their type of humor. My humor is more physical comedy, I would say. I wish I was witty, though. I wish I was quick. I was never the type of person to make another person the butt of the joke. Um, I'm not quick-witted enough to do that, because people who can go bar for bar, I can't hang. So maybe it was a defense mechanism. But also, like, it just wasn't really my style. Because at the end of the day, like, that core of me really wanting to experience someone enjoying their time with me, as selfish as it may be, um, is something that is still with me today.
Mm-hmm.
So it just never, like, I can't do that at someone else's expense. And so the default historically has been like at my own expense, but it doesn't need to be at anyone's expenses. We can just genuinely enjoy our time together. I still like banter. I still like banter and things like that, but it doesn't always have to be insult for insult.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think that's
yeah,
like something that I appreciate about you and about like my friendships in general is nobody is making fun of somebody at the other person's expense. Like to me, to be honest, and this is just me, I just don't find that funny. Like I don't
yeah,
find it funny when you make fun of somebody or you talk down about somebody and disguise it as a joke. Okay, to be fair, some people might say I do that to you.
yeah. But no, but I do it to you too,
You do, you
right?
do. You're
But
just
less,
not
but
doing it
very, very
on this
less.
episode.
That's not true. It's less, like, and it's not things that hurt a person. You know,
Right. Okay, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. There we
attack
go.
my character, my image, the way I behave. Sorry, you want to say something?
Um, okay, next question. You're in a new province.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you talk about how you are navigating, like, moving so far away from home? How has that been for you, Christian?
Horrible, horrible. Um, oh, it's been hard. Oh, the nights that I've cried, I wept. Um, yeah, I've always been a low maintenance friend, and so I don't need in a lot of my relationships, I don't need physical presence. I love it, and appreciate it when it's there, but I don't require it. Um, but it's a different thing where it's like, you know that to access your people, it's a 7-hour drive. It's a 7-hour commute. So it, it's like you can almost, I don't think I was taking it for granted, because genuinely, I don't need to hang out with you twice a week. I don't need to hang out with my people or my family twice a week. When I'm in my crib, I I can go upstairs, but I know my parents are there. Their presence is still felt. Some of the hardest times here were when I would come home, because everywhere else I'm in transition. And
Mhm.
for whatever reason, it's almost like white noise, like I'm doing something, I'm going on. But at the end of the day, when I come home, I'm here. and the silence is so loud. So I'm happy I'm on this call right now. This is really bringing a lot of joy. It's getting real dark, both physically and, getting to that point of the episode. But yeah, so like it genuinely it's hard. And so this season has been one where I've really had to force myself to be a little bit more desperate for a relationship. Um, I've had the same two best friends since like middle school, or I guess low key high school, but it feels long.
Yeah.
I really haven't had to be, and never was a desperate person for relationships. In fact, like a lot of times I'd be pretty, I don't know if the word is scornful, but just timid in terms of like really, like letting people in. And a lot of times I would only let the people in who suited my needs, and who was, I never really had to work. Like our relationship came easily. Mine with, my other two best friends, Tyree and DJ, came very easily. And it's like, everything flowed. And what I'm noticing is in adulthood, especially now being alone, like, this is why like discipline is important, because the biggest, I think, blocker to relationships and the biggest help, is like how consistent you are, and it's just showing up. So now coming here, I primarily have tried to find friends through like the church that I attended. I met some really, like, they're not my prototypical type of friend that I would gravitate to, that I find myself in a sense. Like, they're not all black, I'm just gonna be honest, like, or even people of color, I should say. Because like, coming from Brampton, like, your friends are black or brown for the most part, or Filipino, you know? But they're people of color. And even though I went to a predominantly white, like, high school, I'm just taking in, like, I didn't come out with, I'm talking like lasting, deep connections. I was friends with everyone. And I didn't have a problem with that. But like, and I didn't do it consciously, but if there were lasting relationships that I came out with, those people were black. And I noticed that trend in my head and kind of in my heart. There would be an apprehension, not just like, it's not as surface level as like, oh, if they're white, but it's like, if this isn't immediately like
Easy.
for whatever
Yeah.
reason, for like, if you like anime, or if you don't like, whatever reason, because I couldn't really like name them right now. And if
Yeah.
I did, it would be really disjointed probably. But if it doesn't come easily to me, it's like, it's almost like I would discard it. And at the end of the day, being in a state of desperation now, I am forced to not discard people as so easily anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I say something?
please.
Okay. I think that I've kind of talked to you about this, but I think that it's really cool for you to be in a position where you have to be a lot more intentional about the relationships that you make, and you almost have to put yourself out there. You have to make yourself uncomfortable, all of those different things. I think that this might sound like a generalization, but I have yet to be proven wrong. I think that a lot of Black men who experience anxiety will filter it in their body through being uncomfortable or being annoyed, and they don't want to sit in that. And so they'll like try to get out of that as fast and as soon as possible. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you're in a social situation, but you don't know what this person's going to say. You don't know, you're not familiar with this person. You don't know a lot about this person. I feel like that can create a lot of feelings of anxiety. And so you're like, I don't want to respond. I don't want to engage. And I want to get out of there as fast as possible.
Mm. Fleeing, running from it.
Yeah, fleeing and running from it, when I think that depending on how life turns out for you, like, it's not always gonna be super, super easy to have deep connections. Like, the podcast episodes, I think, previous to this, if I do it in the right order, will show how for a lot of my relationships, I've had to, like, put in work, and it's been uncomfortable, and, like, being vulnerable is uncomfortable, and being in a situation where you don't know what's gonna happen is uncomfortable, and putting yourself out there, going to an event where you don't know people. I think that's a really big one, is, like, going to events consistently and having to sit down by yourself, or,
Mm.
like, just
Yeah.
like, that is it can feel anxious, but I think people will interpret it as, like, "Ugh, I just don't want to," or, "Nah, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
it."
Yeah. They'll trivialize it,
Yeah,
like the emotions that you're
yeah,
feeling. Yeah.
yeah. Um, to be honest, like, I have experienced that as well recently. Recently, I also started going to a new church,
Mm.
and the second service is done, I'm out of there, or I try to be.
That's so big. Yeah. That's
I try to run,
yeah.
and I try to head to the door as fast as possible, um, because I don't know, like, what to say all the time. I'm like, "Okay, we already did the 'Hi, how are you?' Like, you already know my name," but it's just that we don't really have, like, too much to connect on,
Yeah.
so then I'll just, like, leave. What I've found to be helpful, and what I'm going to try to do, is serve. And I think, like, volunteering or serving is a way to develop relationships with people, because then it gives you an anchor of something to talk about and discuss.
You know what else is a really good way that I admire the church that I'm going to now for, as uncomfortable as it makes me? Every Sunday after church, almost like they have nothing to do, like they don't have a yacht to go to. Um, they go and get food. Every Friday after young adults, they go and get food. Every service, every Friday, and I I could be wrong, and it's a complete guess, but I would go out on a limb and guess that every Saturday when they have I don't know if it's like a French service or whatever, because this is one of the only like English churches over here, or English speaking churches. They have, anyways, whatever service that they have, they're gonna go out and get food after too. And so, like, just being there, whether it be with service, but like just putting yourself in the situation and saying yes, like I just say yes now. Um, and oftentimes it is so scary.
Mm.
It is so scary because I know what it is to feel like you're trapped. Like me and my friend group, we call it like being stuck in a cutscene. Like, when you're, we call it the cutscene of doom. Like when someone comes up to you that from your worldview, they're a bot, they're an NPC, they're irrelevant, they're all God's creatures. But I'm just saying, like, they don't mean nothing really to you. And now
Mhm,
you're just forced to talk to them for whatever reason at
mhm,
church, and you're waiting for someone to come by to, like, and it's those people who don't really have that, like, I should probably leave enzyme in their brain or whatever, protein, whatever you want to call it. Um, and so it's like, you're just chopping it up indefinitely. Infinite Tsukiyomi. If you watch anime, you get that. But that was for someone's gonna love that. Someone is gonna love that. Anyways, um, but yeah, like just saying yes and showing up means a lot. And this is what I'll say. Recently, I've been getting frustrated in my prayer life. It's not a tangent. I'm a land. But when I record, like, how often I show up or how often I'm consistent, like when I try to record to basically ascertain or figure out how consistent I am in spiritual disciplines. So that is just like praying, reading your word, the basic quote unquote stuff that you're supposed to do, the things that unlock your relationship in whatever, with the Lord Jesus. But like these things that you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
I I find that it'll be a day of consistency, 2 days of consistency, and this has not happened, but like a week of consistency even. And if you look at it on a micro scale, yeah, the day to day is crazy and it feels hard. But when you look outside and compare how many days, when I compared how many days I was in my spiritual disciplines versus not being in my spiritual disciplines, which is essentially serving my flesh or just like carnality, you know what I mean? Like if I'm looking at it and I'm weighing them and it's like, yo, I did that wrong. But you know what I mean? Like I'm being consistent at one thing. So what I like, I'm trying to parallel it to say like you not showing up consistently in an attempt to make friends is you essentially practicing not making friends. It's you practicing and becoming great at isolating yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like when you look at the fruit of that, which is greater anxiety in social situations, which is less friends or less relationships maybe that you trust, or being able to navigate relationships sincerely to a poorer degree, like it makes sense. You haven't flexed that muscle because you haven't trained it, you know? So yeah, it's just consistency. So my main advice to anyone who's in a similar situation is just say yes. Yeah, and show up. Yeah.
I think what you just said is so good because essentially we're all good at something. We're all practicing something. Like, and what you just said of like, you're putting in the reps of not being consistent, or you're putting in the reps of running, or you're putting in the reps of hiding, and that is producing certain fruit in your life. And so, like, the more consistent that you are, the more that you're showing up in the direction that you actually want, then you start to see the fruit of the things that you actually desire.
Yeah. See, we.
You're trying to practice your French.
I am. I'm getting good.
And then there was something else that you said that was really good. Yeah, showing up even when you don't feel like it. Like, I think that's a super big point, and it's like a principle that applies to everything. You applied it to your spiritual walk. You can apply it to making friends. You can apply it to being in community. It's like the initial act of picking up the phone call when somebody's calling, or answering the text message,
For me, the
or
hardest one. Like
like
you see it,
that
you're in your bed, you're chilling, you're watching IG, you're scrolling, you're
doom
having a
scrolling.
great time. Doom scroll, but you're having a great time. The dopamine's
Yeah.
flowing,
Yeah.
and you see it, and you just watch, cozy, and that last 3 seconds, you're like, the conviction hits, and you have a great time, or you don't. Let's be real.
Exactly.
There are some people who
Yeah,
should
sometimes you
not
don't.
have access. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it
sometimes
is
you
what it
don't.
is.
But for me, the hardest part is like starting, and then
Mhm.
um it becomes a lot easier to be in the situation to continue being consistent, going to church or hanging out with people that you're unfamiliar with, et cetera, et cetera. And I just want to say, let the record show that I do say good things about you. I just want to say I'm so, so, so proud of your
Same when we're off
relationship
cam
with
still.
God.
What? Oh, I didn't know we were gonna go there. Are you sure? I may not have come to you with latest updates and stuff, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
I promise you it's not going to be anything I don't already know. Is it?
That's um n-
Like that hasn't already happened before?
maybe. Maybe. Yo,
Honestly, truthfully, my my coolest observation of just like observing and being a part of your life is that you keep showing up, and I don't know, you're like super real about where you're at in terms of your walk with God, and you're super real about it, but I don't know. It's to me, it's encouraging. It's encouraging to see somebody that, and I don't know if you see it this way, but somebody that genuinely desires to have a relationship with God. Because I don't think that you would get up over and
Mm.
over again. I do not think that you would try this again and again if you did not genuinely desire a relationship with Him, as flawed as it may look in your own eyes.
Very
And I think
fragmented.
that's all He asks for.
Mm. I would agree. I would agree. Anyways, I just want to ask if like, because there's so much I admire about you as well. But I didn't want to do that corny kind of like, oh, you gave me a compliment, so let me give you something. But it's true. So I will. And like, oftentimes I've been trying to find ways to compliment people without centering myself. Like, you do this for me, but I'm going to start this way because it feels natural. So I'm aware. Like, there are a few people in my life whose the way they live life themselves, as compatible as they are to me in a lot of ways, and as much as their relationships serve me, there are very few people whose lives I can look at in isolation apart from me and be like, I respect that, I want that. And you are one of those people. So it's not just because that's not one of the reasons why you're my best friend. It's a huge reason. It's just the fact that I respect the life that you live, you know? So if I don't say that enough, let it be said in public now. So I don't have to say it ever again. You can just replay this over and over and over and over. But yeah, that's something I genuinely admire about you. And you're consistent. Like when I say that, I mean you are who you are. Speaking as someone who has been many people in different spaces, and this is the selfish part because I'm comparing it to myself, but like I admire that like oneness in you, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, there's always code switching to some degree, but even that, I don't really think you do that, to be honest.
Really?
Not really. I haven't seen how you talk at your job, at your corporate job, but like you have a lot of friends. You know what I mean? Like a lot, you know?
Yeah, I
So I
wouldn't say
would,
that I code switch with my friends, but sometimes my accents be getting interesting.
no, it's true. It's true. But that's all I'm saying. Like, you're a very consistent person. And as someone who aims to be who I am in every space and place, um, it's just something that I admire. And it's effortless for you, but I think it is like my word of the year is like integrity. You
Mm,
feel me? Like when I'm not being watched or seen, who am I?
mhm,
And that goes for like, okay, I'm not around these people who know this version of me. I'm around these people. So I have an opportunity to be someone else. Am I going to be who I believe myself to be, who God says I am, who I want to be, the man that I want to be in this
mhm,
space? Or am I going to do what's easy and assimilate,
mm.
to either make them comfortable or really just myself? Um, so yeah, I appreciate that about you. It's a very good character trait. So
Thank you.
see, we,
We're getting there. The French is slowly getting there.
yeah.
Thank you, Christian, for being on this episode of Committed to Connection. I laughed as always, and I learnt as always, and I hope that you're back. Will you be back?
Yes, snack will be back. I'm the snack that comes back.
Nobody asked for this.
Right.
But anyways,
It was a
thank you.
pleasure. It was
It
a
was a
pleasure. I will be
pleasure.
back. I will be
Okay,
back.
nice.
The best friend, everybody. The best friend. The male
Yeah,
best
yeah,
friend.
yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
hope you watching this got some nuggets out of it, got some wisdom out of it, got some laughs out of it as well. As always, let me know your thoughts, your honest, unfiltered thoughts in the comments. And we will be back next week with another episode. Until then, see you later.
Bonne nuit. Bonne nuit.
Bye, 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 bye.
How does it end?
I just end it.
Oh.
Should we talk about your triggers? How sometimes you get triggered a little bit.
Who likes when you think you're having a good time with someone, all of a sudden they start rolling their eyes and you have very active eyeballs. I don't know if people know that about you.
Kristian, ever since you said that, I've actually noticed my eyeballs so much more.
So?
And I have big eyes, and I feel like you've
Huge.
created an insecurity.
Don't blame me. Go do the work. Go to therapy. Don't blame me.
Okay. I'm
Because
gonna have
I
to
could say
cut
the
this
same thing.
out.
I could say the same thing. No, because I could. You want to? No, I'm cutting out nothing. Listen, I could say the same thing every conversation when I do something. You say I don't like when you have fun. You don't like when I have fun.
That's not
Because
true.
you always roll your eyes and
That's
say
not
something.
true.
So why can't I sing then freely? Why can't I sing without you critiquing me? By the way, Rachel can sing a little. And I my pet peeve is when people who are musically inclined in any way, shape, or form put out these sarcastic comments whenever anyone who may not be as inclined, I'm not saying not inclined, as inclined, try to do something on their own. Like, why can't I just like be happy and sing a little bit or hum without you being like, you're off key, or telling me what a time signature is or something like that, or a treble clef. I don't need that. I'm happy. I'm sorry. I'm done now.
Okay.
We're recording, right?
Yes.